Well, good morning, everyone. How are you? That's for the Aussies because it's morning there. Everyone else, it's Saturday, and I'm excited because it's Saturday. Let's be honest, Saturday night, I love it so much, not as much as I used to when I was, what's the word, 20 or 30. But these things happen. All right, first up, we have this fool. I mean, I can't even with this guy. So this week, Justin Timberlake's big old drunky McFunky video came out. So you all will remember, I got my notes right here for all the dates. You will remember last June, he was on his tour. It was the Forget Tomorrow World Tour, which frankly he wishes he had forgotten because it was a disaster. Like we're talking, I'm exaggerating here, but 20 people showed up in several cities. It did not sell well. He kept trying to do it. God bless him. And then one weekend, he was like, you know what? I'm going to take a little time off. I'm going to go visit my friends in the Hamptons, which is where all the rich people live who are from New York. They got their beach house, whatnot. So he was there with designer Estee Stanley and her husband, Brian First. And they decided to go to the American Hotel in Sag Harbor. Now, I don't know if you've ever been there. It's adorable. It's the cutest little hotel. Amazing. Bling, blah, blah, right? And it's also the hotel where Billy Joel met Katie Lee. She was the hostess back in the day, and he used to go so much they got together. Now, there's a lot of rewrite of history, to be fair. Billy's now like, we met through friends at a party, at a charity event, whatever. No, it was at this hotel. Everyone goes to this hotel for a drink. It's fun. It's cute. So he goes. And Page Six at the time reported he was drunky McStunky. Like he was drinking multiple martinis. Somebody would go to the bathroom and he would swipe their drink because, I guess the bartender wasn't fast enough. And then he got in this rented silver BMW and was like, I'm going to drive back to Estee and Brian's house. Right? Of course, he's not a local, so he doesn't know the number one things that cops do in Sag Harbor is wait outside that bar, waiting for drunkies to come out so they can stop them, number one, from driving drunk, because there's a lot of people. And number two, they got to get their monthly ticket quota. You can't hate a cop for doing his job, man, right? So anyway, he gets pulled over. He tells the officer he had just one drink. He only had one martini and then refused a breathalyzer. Now, again, to be fair, never take a breathalyzer, especially if you've just had one drink. You know what I mean? However, unluckily for Justin, body cam. And the video came out this week, and it's pretty astounding. You can see why his eyes were bloodshot in that last photo. And Timberlake at one point muttered under his breath, "This is going to ruin the tour." And the cop was like, "What tour?" And he was like, "My world tour." So during these field sobriety tests, which he cannot do, he apologized to officers, told him his heart was racing, and said, "I'm a little nervous. I wonder why." Then when struggling with the sobriety test, he said, "These are like really hard. Cry me a river. They're actually not that hard if you're sober." And then in the back of the police car, he asked, "Why are you arresting me?" And when told he'd be held overnight, responded, "I'm going to be here all night. You guys are wild, man." I can't with this kid. It's insane, right? So then he goes to jail. And meanwhile, his friend, Estee, showed up at the scene. She starts begging the officers, "Can you guys just do me one favor, please? I mean, if you love Bye 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 or Sexy Back, just let me do me a favor. I got to talk to him. Just let me talk to him." So they're like, "Yeah, you can talk to him." So she talked to him for 1 minute. Most likely it was like, "STFU. Do not say a word. We will get you a lawyer." And he pretty much stopped talking. Now, the outcome was he did plead guilty to a reduced charge of driving while ability impaired and received community service along with issuing a public apology as part of a plea agreement. However, you know what else he did? His reps, his lawyers, his whatever, he called the cops overzealous. Then he had people drop to the papers that the cop was just young, really new on the force, insinuating that the cop didn't know what the hell he was doing, right? And a lot of people were really pretty pissed about that, as they should be, because you know what? Dude, you're the one who drove drunk, all right? Number one. Number two, don't mess with the cops, dude. Not out in the Hamptons. They are working really hard for pennies on the dollar, and they are trying to police the Hamptons when you got seriously rich psychos who think their money can buy them out of anything. And really, this is kind of why people hate him. They were like, wow, you are super, super hyper entitled. They also hate him because, you know what? His memory might not go back that far, but ours do. And we all remember, I remember, I've said this story and I'll say it again. Britney Spears, and she wrote about this in her memoir. Britney Spears, when she was just breaking up with Justin, did that Diane Sawyer interview, the one where Diane asked a ridiculous question that was something like, why did you break Justin's heart? Did you cheat on him? Now, it was horrific and all of our jaws dropped. However, I found out that Diane was given those questions to ask by Britney's publicist, who said, make sure you ask these questions. Now, why did she do that? Because the publicist at the time was also Justin's publicist. And Justin, as he was breaking up with old Brit, he decided that he was going to go solo from NSYNC, drop the band, go solo. And this was him going solo. This is part of his publicity to go solo. All right. It's absolutely ridiculous to make him look like the wronged guy. Then he wrote songs about his heart being crushed and all this other crap. Years later, Britney writes The Woman in Me. Thank you, Britney. In which she discusses that. And she says, you know what, Justin? You not only got me pregnant, but then insisted I have an abortion. And then while she's on the bathroom floor bleeding and crying, because guess what? It hurts, he takes out a guitar and starts strumming a song acoustic, because that's what she really needed at the time. And then he really just kind of abused his position as the wronged guy to make her look like crap. And she suffered from it. She suffered really, really badly, you know, and then she ended up going and marrying Kevin Federline. Oh, and then she had her first breakdown, which of course led to her first conservatorship. Sorry, I was about to say consignment. Forgive me. Her first conservatorship. She's out. She may or may not be going into another conservatorship light because of her DUI last week. And it's upsetting. So Britney has been spiraling since she got out of the conservatorship. We've talked about, I love Britney. All right. So do not come for me. I love her. My heart reaches out to her. It's so sad, but she left the conservatorship. She stopped taking all medications, and she doesn't know how to regulate her emotions or really take a hit and bounce back. She spirals. And as we've all seen in her Instagram, she's been spiraling, and she really spiraled after Kevin Federline's memoir came out and, you know, accused her of, well, said his sons, Jaden and Sean Preston, didn't want to be around her because she scared them, because she would wake up at night and they would see her holding a knife in the doorway staring at them, you know, things like that. It would make me uncomfortable too, to be fair. So she gets in the DUI last week, and this time she gets in a DUI because she's caught. Now, there is other video of Britney being caught before by paparazzi, by people on the roadside, at people at restaurants, drinking what looks to be alcoholic beverages quite heavily, and then getting in a car and weaving across the road. Of course, Britney has always denied that. Then again, she also denied this when she was dating the housekeeper's son, Paul Solis, who just, I mean, didn't he look, he just smelled a con man. You know, he looked like Ode de Valtrex came off the page. He had multiple kids, multiple women, and he locked on to Britney because she's lonely, right? And so they get in that huge fight at the Chateau Marmont. An ambulance is called, and there's blood. There's $30,000 worth of damage to a hotel room. And at the time, Britney said, yet again, I just did a pirouette. Nothing happened, you guys. And a lot of people kept believing her. And at some point, you're like, I don't know if we can believe you anymore. And she kept, then she did the knife dance. So here's the deal. I broke the story a week ago that she's likely to be sent to treatment or rehab and another conservatorship light. Then it didn't happen. So then I start hearing from a bunch of people saying, yeah, no, she's freaking out. She thinks she can deal with it on her own. And the problem with dealing with it on your own is A, people don't believe you. And B, when you get caught in a DUI, you have to show the judge you are dealing with this seriously and that it won't happen again. It's a big deal. People could have gotten hurt. It's not okay. And the best way to show a judge that you're dealing with it is by going to rehab. So, or treatment, or fill in the blank. So her people have assured me, I did this, it's on my Substack. I did it yesterday, Thursday, I wrote it for News Nation. It's on my Substack, that she has agreed to go into treatment. She now realizes she will do it. However, unfortunately, she's still not there yet. So, you know, time will tell. And man, I wish the best for her. I really, really hope that she's going to be okay and that she does this treatment. Britney, if you're watching, if you're hearing, I know you watch everything about you, and please get some help. Just go get some treatment. I get it. Do it, please. It will be better. All right, next story, you guys. We have this fool. Oh my Lord, I can't with this girl. She's nope, not this girl. Sorry. I can with Britney. We love her. This fool. Taylor Frankie Paul. I am so annoyed. First of all, I don't know if you guys know this, but influencers annoy the crap out of me. And then reality show people annoy the crap out of me because nothing about them is genuine or authentic. They might have started off genuine or authentic, but a lot of them are just genuine and authentic asses and attention whores. So it's a real problem. And this girl then goes on Secret Lives of Mormon Wives on Hulu. It's a big gosh darn deal. It's amazing. Then she's announced as the Bachelorette. And she goes on stage at the Oscars last Sunday night. And I don't even know why they had her do it, because she was like, hi, Taylor Frankie Paul, watch me on the Bachelorette. I mean, literally zero stage presence. But they did it, and God bless them. And then this happened. Yeah, you're watching it. They canceled this series. Everything has to be taken down. And I don't know if y'all are aware of this. That's millions of dollars, because this series had already been shot. She had had the rented house. They had flown to multiple countries. They had put up all the dudes. It was insane. And meanwhile, ABC lies through their teeth and said, we just found out That is not true that she'd been arrested for domestic violence. Yeah, it's insane because now the contestants are actually talking to the Daily Mail. And one contestant said, yeah, we Googled her and we were uncomfortable, but Disney and ABC and Warner Brothers Television assured us that this chick was totally rehabbed. She's a different person. By the way, those charges happened in 2023, and I don't think she got treatment or therapy or whatnot, which is really how you're going to become a better person. It's insane. And so ABC tried to ignore it, and they tried to ignore it until, boop, hold on, this happened. Yeah. The video was, TMZ got leaked the video, and it was made public. And she's basically beating the crap out of her boyfriend. Her child is there. A young child is there screaming and crying. Look, she's kicking him. And throws a chair. The child is also hurt. There it is, Taylor's daughter. And yeah, and all of a sudden, this is the only reason that ABC canceled it, because the proof is out for all of us. Even though there was proof before, because there was an arrest record, but apparently they thought that would be okay to do. I don't know what is going on in their minds. They've absolutely lost the plot. And frankly, somebody needs to be fired. So right now they're playing the blame game, right? Warner Brother Televisions is blaming ABC. And they're saying ABC gave us the go-ahead. They said they wanted her because she was so popular on Hulu and all that other stuff. But here's the deal. Just because someone makes for good trash TV does not mean that she's an appropriate bachelorette for what is considered high-level, high-tier TV. It's kind of like Meghan Markle, for example. And I know this is supposed to be a Sussex-free zone tonight, but Meghan Markle does get a lot of attention, which is why Ted Sarandos thought, holy crap, we'll hire her. We will give her a show. Everyone's going to watch. But no, they kind of hate on her. I don't think people really loved Taylor. Do you know what I mean? And yes, I do think that maybe they couldn't find anyone else, but they always can, because here's the problem. Everyone wants to get famous, and then being on The Bachelor, Bachelorette leads to The Island, then leads to other parts of Bachelor Nation. Then you may get a podcast out of it, and then you basically don't have to go back to your regular job anymore. No more cleaning bedpans or selling insurance. You're now in weird Bachelor Nation, where your job is to be hot and possibly make out / bone lots of psychos who may or may not have venereal diseases. I don't know. But that leads me to this point. ABC or Warner Brother Television, not only does someone need to be fired, but they need to fire their casting director, because over the last seasons, there have been so many hideous men and women on this show elected to be the Bachelor. So imagine you're a woman, and now, just so we're clear, they're all good looking, because this is the only thing that matters in Hollywood anymore. Are you hot? Because if you're not, sorry, goodbye. So they hire them for their looks, all right? And then you have people like Jason Mesnick, who had such bad choices. He dumped his fiance live on air and then tried to get the other girl he dumped back. Jerk. Then you got Colton Underwood, the virgin. I mean, come on. If all of us at home knew that Colton was gay, there was no one at Disney or ABC or Warner Brothers Television that had any gaydar. Don't tell me that, because half of them are gay as well. Then you had the ultimate misogynist, self-centered nutbag, Juan Paul Galavis. The soccer player. Oh my God, he was so bad, one woman smacked him. One woman left the show before even finishing. She was like, yeah, you're not for me. You're psycho. Bye. And it was just, yeah, it was he was so bad. Then you had Brad Womack, the guy who was so hot, he got 2 seasons. The first season, he just didn't pick anyone. No one. Of course, it's hard to fall in love with somebody when you ask things like, so what's your journey like? Oh, God, it's so awful. The second season, yes, he picked Emily Maynard. We love Emily Maynard. You know, the girl whose last fiance had died. She's a single mother. He picks her. And then, of course, they break up a month later because guess what? Brad sucks. They also had Clayton Eckhart and Nick Vile, which, just so we're clear, if your name is Vile, I kind of feel like, you know, the name says it all. He's not trying to confuse people with subtlety with that last name. You know what I mean? Then you had shitty bachelorettes as well. You had Claire Crawley, so close-minded, focusing only on one contestant. And guess what? They didn't even end up together because they both kind of sucked. Then you had Katie Thurston, who was quote unquote insufferable, labeled that by viewers on Reddit on many streams. And it was just a difficult season to watch. Then you had Andy Dorfman, who was overly dramatic. I mean, listen, so am I. It's all right. Pretentious and treated contestants pretty horribly. You had Jen Sheft, who was hideous, and Hannah Brown, who was just chaotic. By the way, none of these people ended up with any. They said they ended up, but none of them really ended up. They all broke up and went on Bachelor Nation shows and then made out with lots of other people because that's all they really wanted to do. Oh, God. I mean, someone just needs to put this show out of its misery. It's so over. If you guys aren't going to actually have contestants that have done anything in their lives, who mean anything and are actually kind of cool and we want to hang out with, then give it a goddamn break. I know you got all the other shows that are hooked on it, but I's done. You know, it's too much for me. That's The Bachelorette. Now we've got JFK Jr. and Carolyn Bessette Kennedy, their wedding. All right. So here we go. This is a good story for their wedding. All right. You got Love Story. You got Ryan Murphy's thing out, Love Story. You've got all these books. One story that has not been anywhere involves their wedding and the huge fight that happened at the wedding that ruined a friendship. So let's go back. Their wedding planner was a woman named Gogo Ferguson. All right. And Gogo was such good friends with JFK that whenever she came into town, she stayed at his Tribeca apartment. Even when Carolyn moved in, she still stayed. She loved Carolyn. She loved JFK, all this stuff. So she has to plan this insane wedding. And everyone wants to know about. All the paparazzi are freaking out. And their wedding was kind of a freak show. But everyone's freaking out, right? And so she decides to tell everyone else it was someone else's wedding. And it works. The paparazzi don't know. It goes off like a charm on the island. Here's the problem. Because everything was on her credit card, because she did not want any of their information leaking, at the end of the wedding, the next day, she goes up to Carolyn and says, hey, I got to get paid because this credit card bill, how do you want to deal with this? And Carolyn looks at her and says, ugh, everyone's going to pay for their own rooms. We're not paying for that. Whoa. It was like a mic drop. So Gogo's like, shit. Okay. So she's going around knocking on doors saying, hey, just so you know, there will be a bill at checkout. And it starts freaking everybody out because they're like, oh my God, wait, what? I didn't think I was going to pay for this. We didn't budget for this. This was like the destination wedding. And especially the Kennedys freaked out because I don't know if you guys know this, Kennedys are cheap AF. Everyone knows in Cape Cod, do not go for a drink with anyone with the last name Kennedy or any cousin because they do not pay at all. They will drink a lot and your bar bill will be through the roof. but they will be nowhere near when the bill comes to pay. They'll have done an Irish goodbye out the back, if you know what I mean. So anyway, all the Kennedys are freaked out, and they go to John, JFK Jr., and they say, yo, dude, what? We got to pay? And he was like, of course you don't have to pay. This is ridiculous. And he walks up to Gogo and he goes, why are you telling my guests they have to pay? This is ridiculous. You've humiliated me. You've ruined my wedding. Absolutely furious. Gogo tries to explain that Carolyn told her to do so. John wouldn't hear it. They did end up paying for the wedding, but he never spoke to Gogo ever again. It was pretty bad. And it's just sad, you know, that something like that had to really ruin a friendship, you know? Also, to be fair, Gogo should have sorted that shit out before the wedding. Who do you want to pay? Again, it was in the 90s, all right, where everyone thought everything was free, but it's not. I wouldn't have done it. I'd have been like, we pay for these people because they broke. Everyone else, bye-bye if they want to come. It's a great way to buckle down your wedding list. All right, then we also had this fool. Yeah, we've talked about a lot. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because, you know, he's a fool. And I don't want to deal with him too much. However, Chala-Shade, the whole thing, how to lose an Oscar in 10 days, this is what happened. You'll notice he didn't show up for any press for June 3 this week. He is taking some good advice and hiding. He's going to be taking a very no appearance schedule, I believe, for the next, I don't know, probably until Dune premieres in December. You know, people have had quite enough of him. They've had quite enough of his ego and all this other crap coming out of his pie hole. And you know what? I say, good on you, Timmy. Please stay back in that closet. We don't need you anymore. We're good. We're tired of you and your ego and you're expecting the world. Now, do I think he's going to get engaged to Kylie? I honestly, from what I've heard, they are madly in love. You don't see them out because unlike the Sussexes or some other people who claim about freak out about the paparazzi, they have a really great security team and they go in back door of restaurants and out. They're out all the time. They are together for a lot of the time and they never get caught because they know how not to get caught. As I've always said, in Hollywood, if you don't want the paps to catch you, you don't have to. Whenever anyone's caught, it's usually because they called them, Jennifer Lopez, or other things have happened. They've been notified, blah, blah, blah. You know, so anytime someone complains, just know they wanted to be caught. Okay. And then finally, I'm going to end this show, you guys. This hurts my heart. I can't handle my heart hurting so much about this. It's, hold on, so sorry. I don't know why it's doing that. Yeah. R.I.P. Xander. That's my guy. I love him. Yeah. Nicholas Brendon died this morning, age 54. They're not releasing any causes. It's a lot. And I miss him already. I loved him. I loved Buffy. It was my childhood, man. And even now, I just watch it over because it's a comfort, you know? Now, we know he did have heart failure a couple of years ago, and he had a congenital heart defect. We also know he had a severe spinal surgery and a nerve condition. But, you know, unfortunately, his family has alluded to it by saying he had struggles in the past, and please let us have time to grieve, and so we shall. And, you know, I love him, and I'm sorry to see him go. All right, guys. I hate to end on that note, but, you know, it's Saturday night, and I know you guys got all sorts of things to do. Or if you're in Australia, it's Sunday morning, and you definitely got things to do on a Sunday. So, I thank you. And wait, don't forget, I always forget to do this, you know, like, subscribe. Let me know what you think. What do you think about Justin and Britney? Do you think the Bachelorette should be canceled? I do. Hell yes, I do. And also, I mean, what do you think about that wedding? Do you pay? You got to get everything in a contract first, you know? And also, put some comments about Xander. He'll always be Xander to me. All right. Thanks, you guys. I really, really appreciate it. Take care. And I will comment back once this is up and it's in the stream because I can't see your comments right now. All right. Thanks. Bye.